All
All
right.
right. How's it going, Darren?
That's going real great, Scott. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. Just got my fresh cup of Darren's coffee right here.
You know what I'm drinking, man? I'm actually drinking Anvil Noir espresso.
Ooh,
Yeah.
very nice. Oh, I should have
And
brought
what's
the
cool about
bag.
this company, man? Yeah, that's cool, man. I won't take it. I won't hold it against you. No, what's cool about this coffee though is I used to roast for this company, and it's it's Roscoe's Coffee and Beer up in
Uh-huh.
so they make craft beer and they need to have craft coffee. So used to roast their espresso, and then until they got a roaster, and then I kind of helped them pick up their roasting game, and then now they roast their own coffee, and so I'm actually sipping on some of their espresso roast.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
good.
Well,
It's got pea berry in it, man.
so is that where you learned your roasting chops? Then is that where it began?
Roasting. No, actually, man, I started roasting in a with a cast iron skillet and a whisk.
Dang.
So
Wait,
that
just
was
at
my very
home?
first. Yeah, yeah, man. I was working for the big S Bucks, and I was thinking, I was like, man, I probably could do this myself. So what I started doing is I was like, trying to find places about coffee and read about coffee. I found this place, Sweet Maria's. It's kind of like a catch-all website for home roasters or anything roasting coffee. And I started kind of because there's no real definitive book on roasting coffee, which might be a good idea. I might need to write a book about it. But
Publish it
yeah,
on
so
Kindle.
there you go, man. Boom. But now,
We can show all of it from the back, from behind the scenes.
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so now I got my first little coffee. It was Casa Cielo from Starbucks, and they were Guatemalan coffee. And so I sent my wife and my kids out to Walmart, and it's coffee, man. It's a controlled burn, right? So
Uh-huh.
you get it goes to 500 degrees, and then you take it down, to cool it off. So if you think about a controlled burn, it's like popcorn. I mean, the microwave popcorn has been in the microwave way too long.
Uh-huh.
So at first it starts to smell good, and then you get it to that point, it's like the shaft and stuff starts burning off, and the beans start really roasting. Well, that creates a lot of smoke. I didn't know how much smoke
Oh.
it was going to create. So here I am with a cast iron skillet and a whisk, and I got to move these beans moving around, and shaft starts coming out, man. And it's like it's hot and it's smoky everywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? So then I run up and throw it in the colander, open up the windows, and my little girl comes in the house. She's like, "There's a fire!" And my wife was like, "What the hell is going on, man? There's a fire in here." And then I said, "No." I was like, "I tried roasting coffee," and then she's like, "Well, let's try it." So I tasted it, and it was like I was like, "Wow, this is what coffee is supposed to taste like." It
Yeah.
tasted like an exotic fruit punch. It was like I don't know if you know about the Q score with coffee.
Uh-uh.
So, especially coffee, there's something called a Q score, and that's how we rate the grade of coffee from it goes from 100 down to 90 is outstanding, 89 to 85 is excellent, 84 to 80 is good, right? This
Uh-huh.
coffee was a 98 on the scale, so it was outstanding coffee. So
Cha-ching.
yeah, so I was like, man, this is great. It tastes like exotic fruit punch. I was like, wow, so this is what it's all about. This is why people cross the burning sands for this fruit, this nectar of the gods we call coffee.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, that's awesome. Did you set off the fire alarm when you were doing that for the first time?
oh God, yeah, yeah, man, it was, yeah, it was, the house was smoky, man. It was like coffee oil smell. It smelled like house smelled like coffee. And then when I started roasting with the whirly popcorn popper.
Oh,
Kind of.
okay.
I roasted 2,300 pounds by hand in a whirly pop. So the house smelled
Dang.
like coffee forever until I saved up and I bought a roaster. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's
my
awesome, dude.
my little mini coffee roasting tail. That's
I've
good stuff.
definitely seen some. I've seen some photos on like Reddit and stuff of people like hand roasting like on their stoves and stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't been that. I don't know. That hasn't gotten my attention to get into that part of it.
Yeah,
I much rather enjoy it.
yeah, it's a good idea for some people. And then it's like, let me try it out, before they go buy a roaster. I say, just get a popcorn popper and do it like that first. And if you can do it a few times, then, then, okay, yeah, now I'll start looking at buying roasters. But until you've done it in that whirly pop 5 or 10 times, don't go buy it. You got to be dedicated. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's my coffee. You're like, oh man, you just kind of giggling like, oh, well, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
Nah, I'm giggling because I'm thinking to myself, like, I can see myself just to see like how complicated and what a hassle it is,
Yeah. You got to think, man, people in third world countries have done it. So all you need is fire.
Yeah.
A bean. That's it, man. So the basic, the kind of the basics of all man, of civilized society. Fire.
All the elements.
Yeah, there you go. Fire, something to move it around in, something to put it in. So there you go, man.
That inspires me to like really try it just to do it once.
Yeah, go for it, man. I recommend it. If you're a coffee drinker, man, I'll send you some beans you try with.
Cool. I was gonna say, like, I don't even know where I'd buy raw coffee beans. I guess like
I would just send you some green beans and let's
I guess
let's just
go on eBay.
Yeah, you can get them on eBay, but then you got to deal with the whole eBay thing. There's no real guarantee. You might be getting some, yeah.
Oh man, you're starting a slippery slope. I'm gonna have a warehouse full of raw beans in a year from now because of this conversation.
That's dope, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Well, you ready to talk some SEO stuff?
Sure, man. What are we gonna talk about today?
I'm not
got
sure.
Any topic ideas?
Not sure, man. I got the site set up. So you want me to show it to you?
So, that other site I was talking to you about last weekend, I haven't touched since I initially set it up. But I was thinking that I ended up doing some traveling this week, so I did not pop on and do the videos I was hoping to do on this channel. But things I was thinking that would be interesting to pop on there is installing Google Tag Manager.
Okay.
And then once you install Google Tag Manager on a site, then installing Google Analytics, but then also putting in a phone call click and a outbound link click in Google Analytics for like conversion tracking and goal tracking. Cause anytime I'm doing that tracking, I still pull up a little cheat sheet of the steps.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I get them right. But just doing an over the shoulder video of like how to set all that stuff official to people. And I mean, we could do it live right now too, I guess. But if we don't have anything to show.
Yeah, man, you're breaking up real bad, man.
Am I?
Yeah, I don't know if it's me breaking up bad or if it's you breaking up bad, but it's like the signal's kind of
a little choppy. Knowing it's full, but this and
yeah, you're choppy.
And that has a little off the camera, maybe.
You're choppy. Oh, that sucks.
Does that help at all?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. All right, man. So you want?
Well, if all that was choppy, I was just saying, installing Google Manager, installing Google Analytics via Google Tag Manager, and then outbound links and phone call clicks, tracking as goal conversion in Google Analytics.
Okay. All right. You're breaking up still, man.
Dang. Let me drop and rejoin real quick.
Okay. Let's see. Mm-hmm. You talk?
I think so. Is this better now?
A little better, yeah, a little better.
I took off that Bluetooth headset to see if maybe that would give my computer a little extra
The extra oomph.
attention to the live stream and not to my audio.
Yeah,
you seem way clearer at least.
Okay.
But I'm seeing the logo for you. I'm not seeing. Okay, there.
Yeah, I turned it off. Yeah, I turned it off, man. Turn it off. I didn't want people kind of looking at me, just kind of like looking around. You know, pulling up while I'm pulling up this site, man. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and do it?
Do you want me to go ahead and do that stuff I just talked about, or do you have something in mind for today?
You go ahead and go for it, man. We'll follow along, man.
All right. Let's see. Well, now I need to open up all my stuff.
All right.
Oh, dude, actually, I just created a fresh WordPress install for another project. I don't know if I did. Oh, dude, this is perfect timing.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's what's up, man.
All right. Let's see. So this isn't even set up. All right. So let me get in Tag Manager. Oh, now I got to find my little cheat sheet bookmark of where I follow along.
Now, if someone is out watching this show and they don't know how to do it, or they want to have somebody do it for them, they can always reach out to us, and we're more than happy to get it done. So,
absolutely, man. And I shot you a message. I've already had a couple people that from our show last week were asking questions, and it was cool because I was able to help them with what they were working on.
Cool.
As Ryan Dye says, online, you just want to start a conversation with people. So,
oh, there you go, man.
It definitely started a conversation with a couple people that I was excited. I was excited to help them with. They're working on cool stuff. Yeah. Okay, built. Okay, all right. I got my little cheat sheet up. Man, people are gonna be disappointed when they don't they were thinking I'd memorized all this, and I pull up a little checklist to keep it going here.
I think they're gonna think you're human.
That's right. Pilots use a checklist, right?
Check.
And all right, I am going to just pick it up as a new container. Web.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess I can talk so people know what I'm doing that I'm not showing them. So I am just creating if you go into Google Tag Manager, I'm going in and creating a
new container, as they call it. And the container is pretty much a site. What Google Tag Manager allows you to do, and they probably say,
can you get control of the screen?
Yeah, but I'm logging into stuff right now.
Okay. I want to make sure somebody I didn't need to.
I haven't tried to take control of the screen, but I can. If you want me to go ahead, let me just log into this Google Analytics, and then I'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Or I gotta create it in a link. Okay. So Google Tag Manager allows. Well, man, this page is loading really slow, so it might be choppy on the audio.
Yeah, it's choppy. It's choppy across the board.
Dang it. Maybe after I log into everything, it'll settle. We got to get like direct fiber to curb or whatever for this show.
Yeah, straight up, man. Ethernet. Are you plugged directly in?
Nah, I'm Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I'll see about next week being able to hardwire it there. Okay, I'm getting close.
This week, man, I had a heart procedure done, man.
Oh, what did you have done?
I had had him shock my heart, man. So I had arrhythmia. My heart was going like that. I was out of breath real bad, and the doctor was like, "No, man, we need to get you in here now." So they scheduled me the next day. So I've had a hell of a week as well, man. So,
dang, dude. Well, yeah. I wasn't dealing with anything like that.
But and I got customers too this week, so hey, man, it's winning.
Oh, new clients?
Yeah, man.
All right. Today and Monday, I've got like a bunch of prospect meetings that I'm pretty excited about. So I'll have to give you a rundown on some stuff.
Cool.
Off air.
We're on air.
Are we on air? So professional. Let's see.
You fail forward and you fail frequently, man. So somebody said that to me.
Business.
I think it was a customer.
Where? And Chicago time. All right, I'm almost ready to show my screen here.
Okay.
As soon as it'll give me a tracking ID. Loading. Man, okay. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna. There we go. And there you are. Okay, so we've got all right, we've got this fresh WordPress install. As you can tell, it is brand spanking new here. And then I've got a Google Tag Manager, whatever, account. And then I've got my Google Analytics ID over here. So first, let me take a sip of coffee. Are you able to like hear me and see my screen and everything, Darren?
Yep, we're good.
All right, cool. Okay, well, I need to log into this. So what Google Tag Manager does is allows you to inject stuff into the header and inject code into your page. Oh no, it didn't save into there. Hold on a second. I gotta. I'll turn off this. Wait, it's still showing my screen, right?
No, it's just showing your face.
Okay, good. All right, I need to log into this WordPress account.
All right.
I thought it saved into my.
The strap got dropped.
Lost password. Oh man, this is I apologize for the preparation here. Creating value. Oh, I don't even have a. Oh, dude, actually, you know what? I do have this stuff, and I've got it like ready to copy and paste.
Okay. All right.
I just remembered. I was planning on doing all this stuff. Like, I just had to wait for the domain to, like, refresh to the new WordPress install.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I like emailed myself the login information, just waiting on it.
So note to self: don't send Scott an email. Oh man,
it gets buried in the email. And
sauce.
Here we go. Dude, and you'll get to see LastPass like in
action.
In fact, yeah, in action. Copy. VP admin. All right. And this can all go into the bloopers reel of watching the struggle. Oh, let's see. And log in. We're logging in here. And we're adding it to LastPass. Oh, SiteGround has some extra WordPress. Okay, here we go. And now we can share the screen again.
Okay.
And share my screen. Okay. So here we are in the WordPress dashboard of a super fresh, brand new WordPress installation. We are going to install a new plugin. We're going to install the plugin I use for Google Tag Manager. And I don't even know the name of it. I just know it by, here it is right here. Whatever this is. Install this, activate this. All right, then we want to go onto settings. And then we're going to do custom here. Google Tag Manager ID. We pop up here. Here is our Tag Manager ID for this particular site. All this is visible in the code, like in the site code, so don't freak out about it thinking you're seeing anything secret. That anything I'm showing on here, I would point out to you if it was something to keep secret. But then we're doing custom here, so we need to put this into the code of the site. So we want to put this below the body tag. Saving this. And then we're going to come into appearance. We're going to go to editor. And then this is just telling you if you break this code, you break your site. So, be aware of that. Yeah, heads up. There's no undo. Okay, so here is the start of the body tag. So I'm just pasting that in there. And if this totally breaks, then I broke my site. All right, so we can, all right, so now I've got the code in place. So we've got this in place. What we're going to do now is follow along with this blog post here, tracking outgoing links using Google Tag Manager. And actually, I'm going to, well, for our purposes, we need to track phone calls, right, Darren?
Yep, right.
Okay, so I'll make this for actually phone calls instead of outbound links, but know that the documentation is outbound links. So we come down here. This is like, install Google Tag Manager on your site. We already did that. Activate built-in variables. So this we need to do. So we come over to variables. And this stuff is very intimidating when you first start getting into Google Tag Manager, and it just takes, more experience in here to raise your comfort level. But like I said, I still follow a little checklist over here. What we're doing here, these are variables that get tracked through Google Tag Manager. Some of them are on by default. Some of them you need to turn on, and we're going to turn on click URL and click text. So the click URL would be like the URL they're clicking. The click text is like the actual text of the URL. So if you hyperlink a few words, then that's what that is. So then we want to add our Google Analytics ID. So we go to variables, scroll down to new. And then we come out, let's see, click on this. And I think they have like let's see, maybe I should actually read the instructions. New user-defined variables, page variables, utilities. All right, am I in the right place here? Go to variables, new, user-defined, new. Oh. Name that there. Choose variable type. Scroll down, Google Analytics setting option. Enter your analytics ID. Okay, Google Analytics. Oh, there it is. Okay.
So why would we be using this? What would be the purpose of us using this?
This is to give us, this shows us what people are doing on the website. This gives us a dashboard to track user activity. This is showing, this is giving you like how to watch what people are doing on your site. So at a basic level, if your goal is to get people to click a phone number, which on that property, that website that we started last week, that's the goal. You're plugging in a phone number, and the idea is we want people to click on that phone number. So this will track that. It'll be more visible in a minute here. Okay, so if you're ready to go, skip ahead, tag manager, header, add a new tag, page views. Okay, here we go. The trigger is what we need to create now. So creating a trigger from the left panel, we go to new. And we're going to new here. Outbound link. Okay, so we're going to name this, this document I'm following is outbound links, but we're going to do telephone clicks. And then we're going to go just links. So we're tracking clicks, but just links. And then we're going to filter. So this is catching anytime a link is clicked, then it's being caught in this. This stuff, you can get real technical and filtering and stuff, but I'm just going to do it very basic to get started. So if you're having issues with the tracking, then you might need to come in and tune this stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to click some clicks, and then we are going to check the URL contains, and then I'm putting tel : because if you have a hyperlink that's a telephone, then it's going to be TEL : at the beginning of that. So we're going to save this. And then we're going to create a tag. And the tag is like what's going to pop into your Google Analytics account. Come in here and do new. And then with this, track outbound. With this, we're going to do track phone calls. All right, and then this is kind of like where it's easier to follow along. Universal Analytics. Click that, and then and then here we want to track events, and then for category, phone call. We're going to do phone call clicks. For the action, these are all the available values that we can put in. So we're going to do click URL here. For the label, we're going to do path URL. Value, we'll just leave that blank, leaving that on false. This is where we set our Google Analytics. Tag is what we want in there. And then underneath the trigger here, we want to do that thing we just created, the trigger we just created. So make sure that it's right. I'll just click something I shouldn't have clicked. Okay, yeah, make sure that's the one that you just created. So we go save there. All right, now let me go ahead and do the preview on this just so people can actually see. I'm checking a lot of things right now, actually. I should have tested these step by step instead of all at once. All right, so we're in preview mode. We're testing to see if the tag manager code's working. We're testing to see if the Google Analytics tag is working. We're also testing that phone click. So we're testing everything I just set up. Okay, so here we go. I've got this little plugin. Now that's telling us our Google Tag Manager is working correctly. I don't see our Google Analytics. Maybe I didn't even turn that on, actually. You know what? I'm missing a, let's do a new tag. And
now I see you're kind of titling the things differently for each section. Is there a reason why?
Man, it is just to keep this stuff straight so that you can understand what it is when you come back in here. And something like, if you have one website, then you don't need to put the names into everything. But if you have multiple websites, it is real easy for you to be in Google Tag Manager and start adding some tag. And as soon as you're done with it, it doesn't work. And then you realize you're in the wrong website. So putting the name of all this stuff in there is just good. It's just good practices. So here I am doing like that thing I made earlier. We filtered where it was only put that label in if we are getting a telephone click. I'm going back. I totally forgot to just add a Google Analytics tag that fires on every page and all page views. So this is going to give us visibility to, let's see, I'm going to refresh this. This is going to make sure that the Google Analytics code fires on every page. And we want that so that we can track visitor activity. All right, so here I'm going to hit refresh up here. So now, for those of you who are paying attention, this was a 1 the first time. Now that it's a 2, we've got our Google Analytics tag, and we have our Google Tag Manager firing. So down here, this thing down here is only on because I have this preview on. So it only works in this browser window. So now here's our tag summary, the tags. This one has fired. That's the Google Analytics. It's going to fire on every single page this has not fired because this is the tracking telephone calls, which now that I say that, we don't even have a telephone link. So let me just go into here and create a new page. And we're going to do this and call us today. Click to call. Here is the number. All right, you'll see why I'm doing multiple ones here on this. And then I'll just come up here and do a link. Now, if this was a telephone, we would do whatever, 555 555. So let's apply that. And then here, we'll do another one.
Now, you know 555 is Batman's phone number.
Did I give out the secret number?
Yeah, man.
And then this one, I'll do 543. And then, all right, I'm doing different numbers here. You'll see why in a second. And then with the call us today, tell : blah, 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 well, this one we'll just do. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then I'll publish this. Click to call test, and then we come over here and all right. So here's our page, right? And if I hover over this, well, if I click one of these, it's gonna pull up the. Oh, here I'll just click one regular. It's gonna pull up this thing. But if you notice down here, this thing fired. This that was down here. Let me refresh that so everybody can see again. If we look at all our tags, like right now, this is the only one that's fired, our page view. And then we have this one waiting to fire. This one's looking or listening or sniffing or whatever you want to call it for a click that contains TEL:. So when we click this, that pops from down there to up here. I'm going to cancel this since I don't want to call the number. And then we can look at these variables. So if I click on variables and then I come down here, the 5th event happens to be that phone number click. Now, notice the text, call us today. It's saving that, call us today. It's saving the phone number too. So in this case, we have multiple buttons, right? And those buttons are differentiated by the text. So now let's do another one. Here is the number. Now that we clicked that, we have another click event over here. And you'll see that the value changed. Here is the number and the telephone value changed there. So if you have a website, let's put this into some context here. If you have a website and your main objective is to get people to call a phone number, and you have a bunch of text, and then you have a button for call, and then you have a bunch of text, and you have another button for call, and then you have a bunch of text, and you have these different places along the page for people to call, then you can now identify, oh, more people are clicking the second button than the first button. And then in this case, the second button is click to call. So maybe you should try updating the text on the top button to click to call. Maybe that's a better call to action. So that's just a very rough example. But all this stuff will show up in your Google Analytics, and you can create goals in your Google Analytics. Let's see here. Let me. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Now that I test it, so GA and call tracking. Just naming my container. As you add more containers, then you kind of want to keep it straight as to what's going on. And then I'm going to leave preview mode. The reason I'm leaving.
Quick second.
Yeah. So I'm leaving preview mode so that now when I go to the website, it'll take away that thing down there for me. There we go. So that's gone. And then we can come into Google Analytics here, and we're inside this analytics property. And if we go to real time and we go to events, we can see that this activity is taking place on the site, right? So this category, phone call clicks, copy. Let's come down to conversions, because if that's what's important to us, and goals. Oh, let me click this little settings here. We're going to create a goal over here. And new goal. I think this might be, let's see if they mention it here. Okay, check your stats. Okay. So behavior, events, overview. Does this tell us how to? And outbound links, category, see detailed, event, action. Click on event action. Let's see, let's just do this. We're going to do custom on our goal setup. Continue. This will do phone call clicks. We're going to click on event. We're going to continue. And then category is equal to phone call clicks. And if you had these, if you had a website where there were different types of phone calls, right now I'm just catching anything that is a telephone click. But it could be that you want to track your customer service phone calls versus your sales phone calls, and you can get this, you can get as detailed as you'd like. Let me click there. Okay, save. Now we have that in place. And this is your conversion rate here that you'll be able to check against. Not sure if this will populate immediately or not. And update this to today. Apply. Okay, now that the goal's in place, I think we have to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So there's 3 right there. Since the goal's been in place, cancel, close, cancel, close. All right, and then let's come back here. We could go up here to real time, events, and then the last 30 minutes. You can see here I click those other ones, so we're getting event action, and you can change these actions. I'm just populating the action with the URL clicked, right? You can totally change the action to be whatever you want it to be in here with, I think that's in the labels there where you adjust that. But there you go. So now we've got it in our, see if it'll populate in goals yet.
Cool, man.
Change this to today. Apply. Okay, they're not populating yet, but while you were gone, I created a goal
Okay.
in here, and I know that the goals aren't retroactive. Is it retroactive? Like, you have to have the goals in place for them to start tracking. So so I'm not sure how long till it starts populating in goals, but we did show up here real time events and any of this stuff. Like, you always want to test it as soon as you put it in there. So here's Darren. I was just showing this, that event category, event actions, and you can segment these and everything all you want, but there are the three, and it's up and running. And that, let's see, how do I turn off my screen share here? Let's see. Yeah, there you are. How do I like turn off? There we go. Okay. Yeah. So that is creating Google Tag Manager and installing it in WordPress, creating a Google Analytics ID and storing it in Google Tag Manager. Then applying an outbound link, or in this case, a telephone tracking link click in your Google Tag Manager. The reason that Google Tag Manager is so nice is because you saw how I put tracking in place on the website that didn't take any developer involvement. So a lot of people with websites, if you need something technical added to your code, you have to like send that off to a developer. That developer has to make that update. This was kind of made for marketers and non-developers to be able to implement tracking on the fly. You can do some really intense stuff too. You can have Google Tag Manager A/B test as well, and change the text on a button and all kinds of stuff. So this is very high. This is a very basic, like, getting started with Google Tag Manager demo that you just saw.
Oh, wow. That was fantastic. Well, great job. Great job, Stu.
Thank you very much. I hope it wasn't too choppy. Hopefully it was clear enough to understand what was going on.
Yeah, man. I think so.
Cool.
Well, I know I gotta get going, man. I think it's been a great show.
Yeah, same here, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, man.
I do. See you there.
Bye.